So in this part of the course, we're going to see the time. Well, in Spanish is the imperfect tense. In French, they also have the l'imparfait. But in English, we don't have a name for this time specifically, so we just say used to. So whenever you hear the imperfect tense in Spanish, it's like the same way that we would use used to do something in the past in English, okay? So what is the imperfect tense in Spanish? It's like repetitive actions in the past that you did over and over. So let's say if we're talking about something that we did when we were a child, that is considered as the imperfect tense because we did it over and over and over throughout a period of time in the past. Okay, so for the endings in the imperfect tense, AR, we're going to have yo, and then we add aba, abas, aba, abamos, aban. There's an accent on this A, of course. Then we have, for the IR and the ER verb, we put ia, ias, ia, íamos, ian. So these are the endings, okay, for all the groups in Spanish, the AR and the ER and the IR verbs, okay? So now let's see them in action. Now we have the verb bailar, which means to dance, comer, which means to eat, vivir, which means to live, the common verbs in Spanish, AR, ER, IR. Now, what we have to do is to take off the AR and we add the endings. Aba, abas, aba, abamos, aban. So we get bailaba. Yo bailaba. I used to dance. Tú bailabas. You used to dance. Él, ella, usted bailaba. He, she, it used to dance. Nosotros bailábamos. We used to dance. Ellos, ellas, ustedes bailaban. They used to dance. Okay, so this is the used to plus the verb. Comer. Yo comía. I used to eat. Tú comías. You used to eat. Él, ella, usted comía. He, she, it used to eat. Nosotros comíamos. We used to eat. Ellos, ellas, ustedes comían. They used to eat. And we can go back and we can check the endings that I put to the verb comer. Comíamos. For vivir, we're going to add the same endings as the ER verbs. So yo vivía, it's saying I used to live. Tú vivías, you used to live. Él, ella, usted is he, she, it used to live. Nosotros vivíamos, we used to live. Ellos, ellas, ustedes vivían, they used to live. Very good. So that is how we would conjugate it in the imperfect tense using the correct endings. So let's say that you're talking about a period of your time when you used to go to school. You used to go to primary school, high school. You used to go to the lake with your friends. You used to go on vacation with your parents. You used to play with your friends at the playground. You used to go to the cinema. You used to escape to a party. This is the tense that you would use to refer to those time frames, okay? In the imperfect tense in Spanish, we have 3 irregular verbs. Unlike the past simple tense, you notice that there were a lot of irregular verbs. For this time, we only have 3 irregular verbs. So if you learn them, you're good to go. The verb ir, which means to go. The verb ser, which means to be. And the verb ver, which means to see. Awesome. Yo iba. I used to go. This is what it means. I used to go. Tú ibas. You used to go. Okay, where was I? I'm sorry, I was interrupted. So yo iba. Tú ibas, él, ella, usted iba. Nosotros íbamos, so we used to go. Ellos, ellas, ustedes iban. They used to go. Then we have the verb ser, which means to be. Yo era, I used to be. Tú eras, you used to be. Él, ella, usted is he, she, it used to be. Nosotros éramos, we used to be. Ellos, ellas, ustedes eran. They used to be. Then we have the verb ver, which means to see. Yo veía. I used to see. Tú veías. You used to see. Él, ella, usted veía. He, she, it used to see. Nosotros veíamos. We used to see. Ellos, ellas, ustedes veían. They used to see. So these are the three irregular verbs in the imperfecto in Spanish. In the imperfecto, we can also use reflexive pronouns. Throughout this course, well, at the beginning, we saw the reflexive pronouns. I'm going to mention them again. So when you're talking about I, we use me, you, te, he, she, it, se, we, nos, they, say. So these are the reflexive pronouns. Why do we use reflexive pronouns? Because when we're talking about the actions that we do to ourselves. So like comb our hair, it's peinarse, it's reflexive. When you take a shower, it's a reflexive verb because you're doing the action to yourself. When you brush your teeth, it's reflexive because you're doing the action to yourself or to someone else as well. Okay? So for example, the verb peinar ends in AR, so we're going to use the AR endings. Yo me peinaba. This means I used to comb my hair. Tú te peinabas. You used to comb your hair. Él, ella, usted se peinaba. He, she, it used to comb its hair. Nosotros nos peinábamos. We used to comb our hair. Ellos, ellas, ustedes se peinaban. They used to comb their hair. Obviously, the complement here would be their hair, but when we use peinar, we know that it's referring to combing one's hair, okay? So this is how we will use the imperfecto with reflexive pronouns. Awesome. We will move on to the next part of the course in a moment.